Hey, welcome. Got Coach Tom, Coach Alexander, and we're gonna do a little jiu-jitsu technique for those of you guys who have cabin fever. You're stuck in the house, you don't have very much space, and you're gonna get to grab one of your loved ones and they're gonna get to be your grappling dummy for this technique. So because you probably are working with limited space, we wanted to cover something that didn't require a lot of turning and changing of positions. So we're gonna focus on a variation of the kimura lock from the bottom position where your opponent's fighting not to get their arm folded. And this is a super strong arm lock. It's a very good variation of this technique. So we're gonna cover the mechanics of the lock and then show a few different setups that you could employ it from. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what we're doing with the position. Okay, so we're kind of some type of an overhook position. I'm angled out. Let me slide backward just a little bit. I'm angled out, okay, and I've got this type of a angle on my opponent. Okay, this is a good angle for a variety of positions that we've been training in class lately. All right, I'm going to slide down and go for his wrist. I'll start to fold it in and make my lock here. Okay, a lot of times you can get the lock finished right here. Okay, however, sometimes I'm able to connect my hand, but he's really giving me a lot of tricep extension, and he knows that like once his arm gets folded at that 90-degree angle, it's bad, right? So instead of fighting, we'll simply just let him extend his arm. Okay, he straightened it for me, and now I'm gonna keep my chin tucked in so that it's not off the floor. I'm trying to keep like a curved position in my spine, and I'm gonna keep my same grip. I'm gonna place the back of my own hand on the top of my forehead. Okay, my elbow will be right here on top of his elbow, and I want to keep his arm so that it's like at a 45-degree angle above his shoulder. And then the lock, I go straight down with this elbow. Tap. It's very strong. I'd say it's stronger than the kimura lock. He'll feel it much faster. Okay, so once again, we have this angle here. Okay, I slide down for the wrist. Right away, I feel like he's fighting me by extending his arm out. Okay, I go ahead and make my lock, keep crunched in, and I elevate the arm, rest the back of my hand, not his hand, but the back of my own hand on top of my head, and pull down. If you have your the elbow on your chest, you're probably not going to get the position. You see, I actually need to create space between my chest and his arm, and it's in that space right there that the elbow gets dislocated. The force comes from, I need to connect to my own wrist, and it's downward pressure with this top side elbow. Tap. If you have the arm 90 degrees, I find like it's not as good either. And if you go too far north, he'll simply roll his arm in front of you. So the tricky part with that is just finding that sweet spot, that 45-degree angle, where you get the optimum torque on the shoulder and the maximum pressure for that dislocation right there, okay? So, we're going to switch positions because Alex has been letting me beat up on him for a few minutes now. So we'll just do a couple of different setups. Can you slide this way a little bit? So now that we've seen the angle, let's just start from side control. So you guys are probably familiar with creating elbows inside of the person's arms, okay? And creating a little bit of space and getting to a knee shield position. So once this bottom knee is in, we don't always have to fight for full guard. He's already got his whole hips and everything on one side of my body, and this arm was kind of left behind. So let's look at that again. His elbows are inside of my arms. He creates his frames, gets to the side knee shield. Now he uses his knee shield as a frame to arch, and now he's in the same position, okay? So from here, what he's gonna do is grab my wrist and start to slide it down like he's hunting for that kimura, and he feels that tricep resistance, just like we were talking about. Go ahead and get your lock and lift it over your head and straight down, tap. There we have it, okay? So that whole setup one more time. Kind of a nice position because you submit the person from what starts out as a very poor position. You're in bottom side control, next thing you know, you're in a straight arm lock. So shrimping, knee shield, push the head a little bit, boom. Fold, he's trying kimura, but I'm extending that tricep. He just redirects and gets the tap right there. Okay, we can also do it from some more traditional guard positions. Like one that's real common here is like if I'm back and he's sitting up for like a hip bump position. I post my hand. He hunts for the kimura, but look, I know I don't want him to fold my arm, so I start straightening. So what does he do? He redirects and catches me right there with it. Once again, he's back in for his hip bump sweep. I post. All right, I'm really fighting with this straight arm. I don't want him to lock my arm in a kimura. He redirects and gets the tap right there. Okay, we can do it from kind of like a praying mantis defense position, right? So this is good if this is mid-range and he's controlling the space, even though there's a little bit of separation. His face is very safe from this position. He just gets his hips going to the side, kicks his leg through, slides down. Now we're in this same lock. He's hunting and I straighten. Boom, he gets the tap. One more time. One detail that you guys want to make sure you, anytime you're in this praying mantis position, notice that like he's connecting his wrist and his knee together real strong. There's no gap for my arm to weave through this space right here. That's where a lot of people fail with this position. All right, so his feet can be on my hips. They don't have to be, but the main thing is that wrist and knee connection. He kind of gets this rocking action going, shoots his leg through, high clamp. He's folding the arm. I straighten it, and he taps me out. Very similar position. Very similar position. He's going to do the same thing, but he's going to be on my wrists, okay? This is a little looser, okay, in terms of the distance. I can kind of like move back and forth. So he's kind of going to jam my wrist into his hips here, all right? He's going to kind of kick his legs out a little bit and then get that same position. The good thing about this is his hand's already on the wrist, so he actually got the kimura on me right there. But if I straightened, he's all set up for that secondary lock. All right, so once again, this position, outward pressure with your knees, yes, that kind of creates the tension. Kind of like press into me with his bottom foot to get some space, so move your hips. Yes, that's it. See, now he's at his angle. He shoots through. Oh man, my arm's starting to get in trouble. I straighten to fight that elbow, and gets the tap right there, okay? So, that one doesn't hardly take any space. Move a coffee table out of the way, and grab a loved one and let them help you out for a few minutes, and let's work on that little drill, okay? When you guys get back to class, I want to see you guys hitting that in your sparring sessions. All right, start again.
All right, guys, so we're going to show the berimbolo from the seated butterfly position, and then we're going to show some movement drills to kind of help you get to this position. This is a very advanced move, and it's something I've been working on for like a long time, so I'm trying to figure out ways that I can translate it for everybody. And I think that starting off with the movements first and building off of that is a great way to start learning this technique, okay? So we're both going to start here, like in a butterfly position, both our feet in front of us. I don't want to start right in front of him. I want to angle off like really far to the side, almost like I'm in like a leg entanglement position where I'm trying to attack his leg, but I'm not going to do a leg lock. So I'm going to take my foot on the outside. I'm going to weave it through like I have a de la Hiva hook, but rather than keep it here on the inside of his thigh, I like to shoot my foot all the way through where my shoelaces are on the outside of his hip. Once I'm here, my leg on the inside, excuse me, I put both my feet together on top of his leg here. One other thing I'll do is before I put my leg over there, this hand on the outside, I reach underneath my own leg and I grab on to his ankle, okay? Now, I go to roll, I'm gonna grab onto his back, and what I wanna do is put my head underneath his knee here. I wanna get underneath him as much as I possibly can, all right? So I grab his foot, I reach for his back, and I start to go upside down here. I put my own head underneath his knee. Now that I'm here, my hand that was holding this ankle lets go. I reach for the far leg. Usually I try to grab onto the inside of his knee and I pull. As I pull, my foot that's right here, I weave it behind his knee. And now I have like a X-guard position with my feet. I'm just kind of upside down. What I do now is I extend my legs. And as I extend, I create back exposure. Now I reach up, hug the back, and I bring in my second hook, and I've taken the back. I know it's a lot of steps, which is why we're going to show some movement drills, okay?
Let's do it one more time and look at it from another angle just so they get a visual picture of what the end game is, and then we'll use the mobility exercises to kind of connect those dots. Okay, so one more time from that same angle.
So I'm off to the side, de la Hiva hook, all the way through. I reach underneath my own leg, I grab his ankle. Now I'm gonna reach for his back, both my feet together, tuck my chin, and I bring my head underneath his knee. Now I let go of this leg, I reach for the far leg. I pull it and I weave my foot behind. My feet are connecting around his leg. I extend, reach for his back, my foot will come out over the top, and I've established back control. Let's do it from an angle. One more time, this way as well. Okay, I leave a hook. I reach underneath my own leg. I grab his back, feet together, head under his knee. I reach for the far leg, pull, feet locked. Extend my legs, hunt for the back.
Okay, we're gonna stop camera, and then when we come back, we're gonna look at some solo exercises that you can do to enhance that inversion.
All right, guys, so now we're gonna show the solo movement drills for the berimbolo inversion. So just to show you what it looks like fully, I start here with my butterfly position. My goal is to put my shoulder on the ground, and as I do this, I wanna bring my head kind of underneath my own knee. And my head's not gonna go behind my knee, but that's the idea for me to create this roll. I think the biggest problem is when people go to roll, rather than keeping their body curved forward, they kind of have like their back straight. So when they go to invert, what happens is their head hits the ground here, and then they have a hard time like getting on their shoulders. So my solution to that is just to, you know, curl your back and have like a hunched back. So my back is rounded and it's easier for me to roll. So I like to think of putting my head like to my knee. And then from here, when I go to put my shoulder down, my chin stays tucked and I just have shoulders on the mat and, you know, not having any kind of like neck pressure or anything. So that's what it should look like. And you can do it like faster as you get like building up to it. Like I'm able to roll either way pretty easily. But I practice it a lot. So one of the drills that I used to learn this position was just using the wall to help me invert and have something to contact with. So I start in a butterfly position, my feet on the wall. I like to have like my hands behind my back, or I'll like hug my legs like this. Both are fine. And then I do the same thing where I put my head below my knee, and I'll use my legs to help me walk and get up in this inverted position. And then I just keep doing this. And the idea is I want to be able to just go on the wall and keep going one way. Once I come all the way one way, I can go the other way. So I invert and I'll walk. Invert, walk. And the whole time I'm able to create this rounded back position. And then if you don't want to use a wall, you can also use like a yoga ball. This works just fine too. This will kind of help you during your roll to press off of as well. So I do the same thing where I just sit butterfly, my feet are gonna grab onto it. I hug my legs, head goes underneath my foot, and then I roll. And like I said, you can go both ways. So practice one way, maybe do like 2 or 3 rolls one way, then go the other. And so you can do it without any help or anything. Be able to invert very easily. So those are some drills to help you with your berimbolo and your inversion, all right?